Plaza Tower will have to pay $220,000 in fines.
The city originally wanted him to pay more than $2 million in fines for the dilapidated property. Andres Fuentes explains the reasons behind the reduction.
In the last 6 months, we've had regular meetings, regular discussions with the city regarding the status and the condition of this property.
In a code enforcement meeting, the city slashed the amount of fines Plaza Tower owner Joe Yeager will have to pay. The building was cited for 11 code violations back in 2021, stemming from the lack of maintenance, repairs, and break-ins at the 42-story abandoned high-rise.
There was sanitation, sidewalks, fences and walls, defacement of property, signage and masonry, metal surfaces, premises identification, exterior walls, decorative features, overhead extension, windows.
Now, per the city attorney, Yeager was originally supposed to pay a fine that equals $500 a day for 365 days for each of the 11 violations, totaling more than $2 million. But because of Yeager's efforts to try and secure the building, talks of trying to hire 24/7 security, and even the pending sale of the building, the city lowered those fines to just $250 a day for 80 days for each of the violations, and that total fine now totaling $220,000.
Certain of these violations, for example, walls and windows, they cannot be addressed until the building is redeveloped. The owner has expended over $1 million in making sure this building is secured, most recently having erected a heavy-duty perimeter fence.
Yeager has 30 days to pay the $22,000 fine.
The city can put this amount on the tax bill so that, at the next time taxes are due, then they would pay it as a part of the taxes.
The deal to sell the tower is still in its beginning stages, and broker Len Wormster says it could be a long process to see the tower back into commerce.
If it was easy, anybody could do it. And with interest rates being at double to 2.5 times they were a couple of years back, and with the insurance market being all messed up, not just for Louisiana, but all coastal states, this is the end of the beginning, not the beginning of the end. It's going to take a little while.
Reporting in New Orleans, Andres Fuentes, Fox 8, Local First.